100 things I didn't know about grief, that you didn't know about grief, that I am absolutely 100% going through. I am off in my numbers. I'm pretty sure I'm off in my numbers, but I'm doing my best right now. I think we're at number 69. So that's where I'm going to start with today. For some reason, I felt like I went to 70, but it didn't add up on my paper. So I'll figure them out where we're at before I put them all together for you, so you guys can download them. We're going to be talking about grief. We're going to be talking about comfort, not fake comfort, but the kind of comfort that you're going to be needing this week. So I'm going to be tying in the holiday into my 100 things we didn't know about grief. I'm going to be talking about the community. So I got about 3 things going on at one time. But most of all, I want you to know that I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. This is the little lady, Miss EK, who probably knows exactly what number I'm on. So we started in October, and we started doing 100 things that we didn't know about grief. Today's our 9th week. I'm somewhere around 70 or so, but we're going to make the best of it. All right, friends. Here we go. 69. You may absolutely grieve your past. Oh, I'm on 67? I messed my numbers up. All right, I'm going to call it 67 because I'm going to trust EK knows the right thing. Miss Elizabeth knows, so I'm going to call it 67. We're going to start from there. When you come onto a new healing journey, that was my guess. Oh, okay. I didn't think I had gotten to 70 yet, but we need Suzanne's take on this too. I love this community, a community of women that can be on their grief healing journey and just loving each other and supporting. It's just absolutely amazing. Okay. I also don't feel so alone when I'm out here. Hey, Miss Becky, you can grieve your past. Bad pen already. You can't. I'm going to buy a better set of pens. I promise you guys. You can grieve your past, your present, and your future. I didn't know if it was going to say that, but it's true. The future you thought you would have, the past that has pain in it. Let me move this. Hold on one second. Move my coffee. This marker. I want to make sure you guys can see this board. Not now. All right. You're going to grieve your past. You're going to grieve your present. And you 100% will grieve your future. This is me. This is Austin. Austin was 10 years old. And I don't know, I was 46. I'm making that up because I'm not really sure. Somewhere around there. 43. I'll figure it out. All right. Austin drowned at the lake on Father's Day weekend. Austin drowned at the lake on Father's Day weekend. And here's something that I absolutely knew to be true. My broken heart was going into so many different areas. My heart was going into so many different areas. Because your brain is searching. My brain was absolutely searching. It was searching for a way out of this grief. It didn't know how it was going to manage this grief. My brain was searching for a way out of this grief. And so consequently, my brain went into the past. It went into the present, and it went into the future. But I want to tell you this. Most grievers that I meet are right here. They bouncing back, past, future, He won't be here with me. I don't have him. I won't have him. He won't be here on the holiday. I got to go through the Thanksgiving holiday without him. One of the safest places for us to say is in our present moment. In our present moment is the safest place for you, the griever, to stay. But here's what happens. A lot of grievers don't stay in their present moment. Their brain is working full time. Grief doesn't stop at the moment that you lost your person. Excuse me. It stretches you forward and backward. Grief will stretch you in ways that you never thought possible. You'll grieve the moment that you had. Thank you. The ones that you're missing now, and the life you imagine that will never come. There's a lot of grievers that stay in the future and we spin. And when I meet with them, all they tell me about is all the things, thank you everybody, all the things that he's not going to be at. And this, my friends, past, present, and future is the part of it that nobody talks about. On the day that you received your phone call, you got a door knock, or you got a diagnosis, on the day that you became the griever, nobody told you, be careful of the future. Nobody comes in there and tells you that. Nobody told you, be careful of the holidays. They're going to be like landmines. You are left to figure that out on your own. It's the part no one talks about. Here's the other thing that I want you to know. When you start to understand these things, when you start to understand number 67, when you start to understand that your brain is going to bounce between these three areas, it makes it easier to manage. It makes it easier for you, the griever, to manage, because you can pull yourself back from the future and sit in your present moment. I don't know how many times I've said this: present moment, present moment, present moment. I want you to hear my voice as I'm saying it. Present moment, present moment, present moment. When your mind starts to wander into the future just a little bit, pull it back. Pull it back. Pull it back. Healing starts when you stop fighting the truth. This, my friends, is part of the truth. There is a lot of truth about grief that people just are not talking about. And even if they are talking about it, a lot of us are still stuck in some old, antiquated ways on how to grieve. Just give it time. Girl, you need to keep busy. None of those are going to help you, I promise you. Healing starts when you stop fighting the truth and let yourself grieve it all. Grieve the memory. Grieve the thought. The thought of, why didn't I answer the phone? The thought of, why didn't I go over there? Why did I do this? Why didn't I do that? When you stop fighting the plans you had for the future, when you stop pushing back against the milestones, anything that's coming up. That's Suzanne. Suzanne is a milestone. She gave me milestones. When we stop pushing back against the milestones, birthday, anniversary, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you are going to have multiple milestones in your life. In your grieving experience, there will be multiple milestones. Today's the day we started dating. Today's the day she texted me back. Today's the day she gave me her phone number. Today was the day that we went to the park and we had such a great time. Those milestones, you remember them. They're not always the big one. They're not always his birthday. They're not always the anniversary. Some of the milestones are small that only you know. And the milestones that never came, that are never going to come, like Thursday, when you're going to be forced with, or forced to walk into a house without them. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel the weight of it. A lot of us are. Thursday will be a milestone for a lot of us. And so here's what I want you to know. You have permission to grieve your entire story. You have permission to grieve your entire story with your person. Not only do you have permission, you must. You must, in order to move beyond your pain, is to do a review of your relationship with your person. It's called your grief story, and nobody owns this grief story but you. It is your grief story, and don't let anybody try to change it for you. We need to grieve the entire story, not just the day of the loss. We grieve the day of the loss. We grieve the day after the loss. We grieve the funeral. We grieve not being able to go to the funeral. We grieve the phone calls that are never coming. We grieve the breakup of the romantic relationship. We grieve the divorce. And a lot of times when we're in there grieving our whole entire story, guess what we find? We find other grief that has been sitting there for days, weeks, months, and a lifetime that never got touched. And it comes from our past, some of it from our future, and absolutely some of it from our present. We're not always just grieving our person. So here's my question to you. What part of your imagined future do you miss them the most in? And I would imagine, here's my question. What part of your imagined future, so you're imagining your future, and now you know they are no longer going to be in that future. What part do you miss them the most in? For a lot of us, it's probably this week. Knowing that I'm going to have to do Thanksgiving without him. I'm going to have conversations that he's not going to be a part of. That is hard, my friends. That is really hard. It's really difficult. I talk a lot about the community that we're building here. A lot about the community that we're building here together. These next few weeks. Yep. My son growing up without him. All of the holidays, Miss Becky said. Thank you, Sandy. New Year's especially. Yes. Going into the new year, having that calendar change without your person in it is huge. Absolutely huge. One of the things that we do in the community here is we break down grief. We absolutely break down grief. And what I'm doing is going over 100 things that you didn't know about grief. And I'm going to trust Miss EK that we're on 67. We're in there somewhere. My numbers are off, but I promise I'm going to get you to 100. One of the things about being in a community like this is finally being able to understand what grief is doing to your body, what it's doing to your mind, what it's doing to your soul and your spirit. I don't want you out there guessing. I don't want you guessing about what grief is doing to you. I don't want you suffering. There is no need in this day and age for us to suffer in grief. I am sitting in Frisco, Texas, and I'm talking to you on my computer and on my phone. And there is no need for you to be suffering any longer. There's no more need for you to feel broken. You need to learn about this grief. You need to learn about this grief. And that's what we do inside of processing the pain of grief. I break grief down for you. I talk about where you're going to grieve in your home. I talk about where you're going to, where you feel grief the most in your body. I talk about that experience of grief. There's so many of us that come upon the grief healing journey and we know nothing about it. Raise your hand if that's you, because that's me. I knew nothing about grief. And I thought somebody was going to come along and teach me, and they didn't. So I became the woman that I needed. I want to make sure that you understand inside this community, there is no more guessing. There's no more feeling broken. You learn why you feel this way. The fog is hard. Megan says the fog is so hard. Yes, Megan. And the fog actually absolutely serves a purpose. And we talk about that. The fog is your prefrontal cortex slowing down because your nervous system is taking so much information at one time. So much information. All right. Here's number 69. It's taking in so much information that your brain has to slow it down. It has to slow it down, right? It has to slow it down so you can start taking in the information. Significant life events. And milestones may become bittersweet. Oh, bittersweet. One word, bittersweet. Significant life events, milestones, may become bittersweet. What are your significant life events? Is it the weddings? There's so many times we come upon a grieving experience and then there's a wedding a few weeks later. What happened to 68? It's a secret. I'm not telling you. I don't know. I don't know. 69. Did we do 68? No, we started at 69, Suzanne. Oh, did we miss 68? Okay, I'm going to give you 68. I'll go back and look it up. Significant life events and milestones may become bittersweet. Weddings, birthdays, graduations, holidays. I'm telling you, will never feel the same. You learn how to smile through the tears because that's what you think people are expecting of you. You think they're absolutely expecting you to show up as, okay, we went to the funeral. That was 4 months ago. Why are you still grieving? Why are you still grieving? Bittersweet moments mean you're feeling both joy and what has happened to you. You can absolutely go to the event. You can absolutely be at the event. But what happens a lot of times is we're at the event and we feel like the loneliest person in the room. Like people truly don't understand what we're going through. Don't they know? Don't they know that my brother died? Don't they know my dad's not here? Why is everybody having fun? Why are they acting like this? Friends, when I tell you, you do not have to choose between happiness and sadness. They can coexist on your grief healing journey. They can coexist in your grief story. They can be, how about we do this? Because everybody keeps bringing this up. Why don't I just make this 68? Thursday is a milestone we're all going to be facing. A lot of what we've been talking about since October is what is your plan for Thursday? What have you got planned for Thursday? What are you doing? What are you going to be doing on Thursday? Is it just going to be Thursday? Are you going to be at home? Are you going to your sons? Are you going to your families even though you know you don't want to go? What are you doing on Thursday? What plan do you have? What plan do you have for when you get tired, when you get scared, when you get lonely? What are you going to do? Marie says, I'm attempting to cook. Good for you. Good for you. What is your backup plan? Listen, for anybody who's cooking, what is your backup plan? I'm changing what I used to do and working. Hear me out. You guys can change it up. You can go to work. You can not go to work. You can do all those things. But wherever you go, there you are. And you're taking that heart with you. You're taking the heart with you. So you still have to have a plan. You still have to have a plan. She says, my backup plan is a can of soup. I love it. But what are you doing with your heart? What are you doing with your grieving heart? What's your backup plan for your grieving heart? I want you to understand this. Mixed emotions, which mostly comes with us, we're there, we're at the event, or we want to go to the event, and then all of a sudden we get an overwhelming surge of grief. An almost overwhelming surge of grief. I see you, EK. This is proof of your love. This brokenness you're going to feel in your heart is proof of your love. It's proof that you had a person that you loved. So we need to have a backup plan. If our plan this Thursday is to stay home, what if you change your mind and decide you want to go? Do you feel comfortable going? What if you do go, if your plan was to go with the family, and you're there and you get hit with overwhelming emotion? Where are you going to go if that overwhelming emotion comes? What happens if you get hungry? What happens if you get tired? How much wine are you going to drink? What are you going to eat? What are you going to wear? What if you decide to stay home? Friends, I want you to think about the event Thursday, the entire day. The entire day, what it's going to be like for you. Don't just say, I'm not going. Because I'm telling you, just saying I'm not going is not enough. I'm not going because I don't think I can be around my family. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to stay home, and it's just going to be Thursday for me. I'm going to get up. I'm going to have some breakfast. I'm probably going to read a book. I'm going to binge watch I Love Lucy. I'm not even going to watch the Thanksgiving parade. I'm going to go for a walk around 4 o'clock. Or what if your plan is, I'm not going on Thursday. It's just going to be Thursday to me. I'm not going, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. I'm going to stay in bed, and I'm going to pull the covers over my head. I'm okay with that because you got a plan. Make sure you know where your food is. Make sure you know what you're eating. Make sure you hydrate. What if your plan is to stay in bed and cry all day? I'm absolutely okay with that. Hear me out. I'm okay with your plan. If you decide you're going to go to work, go to work. It's okay. Just know what your plan is. I work with a friend who lost her husband. That's amazing. You guys are supporting each other. Understand that mixed emotions are not a setback. When these emotions come up, they're not a setback. They are proof of your love. Okay, here's my question. Which milestone or event has felt the hardest since your loss? And what made it so difficult? Was it his birthday? Was it anniversary? Was it the anniversary of his death? Was it something small? Was that today's the day we started dating? What milestone has made it the hardest for you? I love that we get to talk about these because it causes your brain to go in and look at your own grief, to look at your own grief story, right? One of the things that we talked about right in the beginning, if you guys were here, was having to do this grief alone. There are a lot of parts that you will be alone in this grief. You will be alone for a lot of this grief. But there's also this part where you've got to be around others who are also grieving. Some of them are further ahead than you. Some of them have just started. But to be in a community of other grievers is huge. This grief was never meant to do alone. And that's one of the things that we do in this community. Excuse me, I have a community called Processing the Pain of Grief. And one of the things we learn is how to talk about the pain instead of swallowing it down. How to talk about the pain. How to stop carrying everything alone. You can bring that grief in and you can lay it down. You can bring the grief in and lay it down where someone else will hear you, where you can feel heard, where you can feel heard by another griever. We need to stop trying to carry this all by ourselves. Grief was always meant to do in community. So that Processing the Pain of Grief is a place where we come in twice a week. I teach a lecture on Tuesdays. We're coming back December 2nd. I will absolutely be teaching a lecture. The lecture I'm teaching on Tuesday is What is Grief? I'm literally breaking down the definition of grief. You know why a lot of us can't even move beyond the grief? Because we don't know what the grief is. You've got to understand completely what the grief is. And inside the community, you finally have a place where your words can be heard, where your silence is also safe. You can come in and dump on us. You can come in and dump on us 100%, or you can say nothing. You can stay behind your camera and not open it up. It is completely up to you, because I promise you, every week, you're going to do something different. Every week, you're going to do something different. It's processing the pain of grief. Click the link, click my picture, click the link that says click here for hope. There you can sign up for Processing the Pain of Grief, where we meet twice a week, every week. It is a community. It is a paid community. And right now, until December 31st, you can get it for $57. On the 31st, it goes up to $98. So if you're interested, I suggest you do it now before the 31st. Okay, here's 69. Again, buffering is one of the things I teach inside of the community. It's one of the things I teach inside my program. What are the things we buffer with? We buffer with so many things. Buffering is our brain's way of helping our heart heal. Your brain sees this broken heart. It sees this thing called pain, and it doesn't want you to feel that pain. Your brain thinks it's its job to stop the pain. Your brain thinks it's its job to fix this. He's like, fix that. Check. But here's the deal. Some of the things that the brain comes up with in order to fix this don't really help us. It 100% will tell you to drink the wine. It will tell you to drink the wine. Just have a little glass of wine. It's okay. Your heart is in pain. Have some wine. It'll make it feel better. Here's the truth. The wine will make this feel better. It can also make this feel worse, and you can start crying uncontrollably. Here's the thing about buffering that we need to understand. Most buffering does work, but it only works for a short period of time. It will tell you to drink the wine. It will tell you to scroll on TikTok. That is also another buffering. It will tell you to scroll on TikTok. It will tell you to go to Amazon and buy the package. I don't know what's in there. Hey, let's go shopping. Let's buy some shoes. Let's scroll on TikTok. Drink the wine. It will tell you to go to sleep. Especially sleeping. We have to watch the buffering, especially at this time of year. At this time of year and within our grief. This is always for the griever. Buffering is always for the griever, but especially at this time of year. Grief is exhausting, absolutely exhausting. Your body looks for ways to numb out. Your brain is looking for a way to make this numb so that you're not feeling it. Your brain has a job. Let me tell you, I want to explain to you how this happens. I want to explain to you how this happens. Miss EK, here's your brain. Here's your brain on grief. Your brain 100% thinks it can fix this. And so here's your heart. This, my love, is your broken heart. Every time you have a thought about your person, every time your little brain goes into a memory of you and your person, your brain goes into the memory, you replay that memory over and over and over again. You replay that memory over and over and over again. EK, you're getting kicked out of my class, making fun of my artwork. Your brain goes into that memory. You replay the memory over and over and over again. And you're just going through the memory. And then all of a sudden, the thing that happens is you drop down into this heart. The brain sees the memory, you replay the memory, and then you drop down in here. And then instantly you feel pain. That pain that you're feeling is emotional pain. It is emotional grief pain that you're feeling. Sadness, broken, isolated, scared, fear. Fear is big. Anxiety. Soon as you feel this pain, this thing, which is called the heart, sends a message back up to here that says, I can't. This is why. No. Soon as you come in here and feel this pain, the heart then sends a message back here. But because this brain is so smart, he's like, hey, girl, I got you. Let me help you. Go in the kitchen and get the wine. Get the chocolate chip cookies. It'll make you feel better. No. Don't eat. Don't eat. It'll upset your stomach. So then you go days and weeks without eating. These two, the heart and the brain, go back and forth all day long. And most of it is coming out of a memory of your person. Thinking about having to go to Thanksgiving without them. Grief is exhausting. Your body is looking for ways to numb out. Late night scrolling, drinking, overeating might feel like relief. But what they actually are is you being stuck in your grief. You are 100% stuck in your grief. Your body is carrying the heartbreak. It deserves care. It deserves love, not punishment. Healing your body heals your heart. Being aware of the buffering, being aware of what you're doing, start small. Start small. I want you to do something for yourself today. Drink some water. Drink a full glass of water. Commit to drinking a full glass of water because it's good for you. It'll fill your souls. And if you're doing a lot of crying, please drink. Start small. Go on a walk. Just go around the block. Look, I'm not telling you how to fix it. I'm just saying in your brain, tell your brain, this hurts. I'm going to sit down and just drink some water while I'm thinking about my person. I'm going to take a walk. Stretch. Breathe. Survival through this is going to require that you have self-compassion. That you have compassion for yourself and your heart and everything that you're going through. I promise you it is going to require that. Friends, here's the other thing. This is your grief story. You get to say how this thing goes. You need to become aware of all of your parts of your body during this healing. What is your brain telling you? What is your heart telling you? What are your shoulders telling you? How much crying are you doing? How much do you feel it in your gut? Don't separate from them. Become aware of them. Be the observer of them. When I tell you that grief is a full body experience, that you step outside of your body and you are watching yourself go through this thing, it is so true. Be careful, Cheeky. Cheeky says, I'm going back to the gym. I want you guys to be careful. You cannot replace this with that. Go gently, but we also have to grieve. We can do that, but we also have to grieve. Thank you, Miss Cheeky. What habits are helping you cope? Which ones are making things harder? What habits are you doing that's helping you cope? Here's the thing about buffers. They work, but they are absolutely buffering the emotions. The good, bad, sweet, and sour are getting buffered out. And what are you doing to help yourself process those emotions? What habits are helping you cope? And which ones are making the grief harder? Great question. Absolutely great question. It's the wine. It's the scrolling. Yeah, Miss Cheeky, that's going to come back. I promise you that's going to come back. It is going to come back. What I don't want you to do, one of these things that we can do is absolutely go to the gym. One of the things that we see grievers do is they want to feel the space. because a lot of us want to get away from the pain, right? We see this pain in our heart and we're doing everything to move in this motion and get away from it. But wherever you go, there you are, my love, and that broken heart goes with you. So a lot of us, even though we're running this way, we're taking the heart with us. And then we just keep adding things on top of it, adding things on top of it. So how do we process our grief out of that? Process grief is out of our control. So how we process grief is out of our control. No, you have to understand what grief is. What is grief? What is grief? What is the definition of grief? Grief is a normal and natural reaction to a loss of any kind. It is normal and natural for us to grieve. It's normal to grieve. It is normal. It was meant for us to grieve. We were meant to go through grief. We were meant to go through grief. We were meant to see this grief and go through it. Absolutely, 100%. One of the things we do inside of processing the pain of grief is we talk about what grief is, how it feels, where you're getting stuck, why are you getting stuck, where you should be grieving in your home. We come together as a community. We are a community of grievers that have come together. Stop resisting your grief. Your job is to stop resisting the grief and start working with it. But how do you do that? How do you do that if you don't know where to start? Instead of running, instead of shutting down, instead of pretending, I want to talk to you about how to actually process the pain so it stops controlling you. A lot of us are letting our grief control us. And a lot of us have let our grief control us for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. We've never done anything with the grief. Why? Why? Because nobody has come onto the grief healing journey and spoke the truth about grief. Grief sucks. It sucks. It'll suck the life right out of you. Grief sucks 100%, and it will suck the life right out of you. But you, my friends, can take control of the grieving process. You can take control of grief if you knew exactly what to do. And let me tell you this. I want to say this. It is not easy, and it is not a quick fix. It's going to take the time that it takes for you. It is going to take the time that it takes for you to navigate through this grief healing journey. That was 69. The other thing let me say this also. So a lot of us are running. We're trying to get away. So we use the wine, right? We use the TikTok. One of the other things we do is we go to the gym. Because the endorphins that our brain gets from going to the gym feel good. And it can take us out of this. It can take us out of the moment. And so some of us, we go to the gym at 4 a.m. And then at noon, we go on a walk at work. And then we leave work at 5 p.m. and we go back to the gym. Because all of this keeping busy keeps us away from here. Keeps us away from feeling the grief. So you got to be careful. Going to the gym, fine. Going on a walk, fine. Drinking water, fine. Sleeping, fine. But we don't want to do anything to excess. We don't want to do anything to excess. Okay, number 70. I know y'all are judging me. It's hard to go back. It's hard to go back to what it used to be. It's hard to go back to what is that even? It's hard to go back to a regular life after loss. Thursday, everybody is expecting you to be regular. They're expecting you to be regular OU. That's what they're expecting on Thursday. Come with a smile, bring the sweet potatoes, don't complain, and by all means, don't you dare come in here and start crying. We've done that already. We've done that already. One day you realize the world will keep turning without your person. One day you realize the world just kept turning, kept moving, and you and your person were not together. And for some of us, we resent it. We go back to work. We struggle with going back to work, with paying our bills, with cooking dinner. And all of it feels foreign to us. It feels like we were never in this world to begin with. When I tell you that you've been flung into the alternate universe, you are in the alternate universe. Here's the deal. You're just standing there. And everybody is doing everything that they were always doing. But you don't feel like you belong here anymore. What the hell just happened to me? And it feels like someone is shaking you and that it happens so fast. You're not broken. You're adjusting to a world that looks the same but feels completely different. You are adjusting to a world that looks the same but feels completely different. You are in an out-of-body experience when I tell you that. Inside your brain, I don't know about you, but inside my brain, I was like, don't people know that Austin just died? Don't people understand what has happened to me? Aren't they understanding that I have to try and figure out how to get through this? It's hard to go back to a regular life. I will tell you this to be true. I believe that you are forever changed. I am forever changed. This grief forever changed me. I 100% will not go back to the life that I had. I don't. I'm not even her anymore. You're learning to live in two worlds. The one that ended the day your person died, and the one that keeps going. It's going to take gentleness for you to rebuild a rhythm, not the rhythm, a rhythm, your rhythm. What is your new rhythm? Functioning doesn't mean that you've healed. Just because you can function in a world, in the alternate universe, doesn't mean you've healed. You need the clarity. You need the understanding. You need to understand a new way to live in this new world. Here's my question for you. What parts of your everyday life feel the hardest right now? What parts of your everyday life feel the hardest? When I tell you you can't go back to a regular life after the loss, I want to tell you this. Thursday, Thanksgiving is coming. I'm just adding some more tips in there. They are expecting you to show up that way. You show up however you need to be. Have a plan to escape should you need it. Have a plan to get out of the room should you need it. The mornings were the hardest for me also, Mary. They were always the hardest for me. Have a plan. What parts of every day feel the hardest to return to? And what helps you push through? Have a plan for Thursday. Have a plan. Hey guys, this is a great time for a commercial. My name is Sharon Brubaker and I'm the owner of the Grief School. The Grief School is a place where healing begins. The Grief School is a place where we build a community where women come together and we learn how to move beyond this pain. How to move the pain, how to understand the pain, how to hold the pain, how to look at the pain. What do we do with this pain? We talk about it. We learn what grief is, and then we talk. And we understand that grief sucks. And we as grievers start understanding that we need to lean into the suck. What does it mean to lean into the suck? It's one of the things that I teach inside the Processing the Pain community. Click the link, click my picture, click the link that says click here for hope. There you will find the Processing the Pain community. You're going to gain tools that will help you to calm the emotional overload. Most of us are suffering from emotional overload. There's fear. There's guilt. I see someone ask me about guilt. There may be anger. There are waves of pain that will hit you out of nowhere. One of the things I want to help you is learn how to regulate your emotions. First of all, some of us don't even know what an emotion is. I ask a lot of you how you're feeling. Hey, let's do an emotional check-in. Where are you at today? Where are you at in your emotions today? I feel tired because I stayed up all night. That's a thought. Where are you at in your emotions today? I'm tired. I'm broken. I'm sad. The average griever comes up on a grieving experience, and when I tell you they push back against the grief because they don't know what to do. Amy says, I'm broken. My heart to yours, Miss Amy. We don't know what to do with this grief, so we push back against it. The fear, the guilt, the anger. Inside processing the pain of grief, I teach you how to regulate. I teach you how to regulate so that you can start realizing and trying to find out who you are now. Who are you now? Who are you now inside of this grieving experience? Who are you now with this broken heart? Okay, this is the last one that I'm going to do today because I want to be able to answer some questions for y'all. And I'm almost, oh, well, no, I can do two more. I'm almost been on for an hour. Becky says, broken. Ted says, I'm nobody. How can I go on? Miss Mary, my heart to yours. How can I go on? I want to tell you that this loss that you're experiencing in your heart, it will not oh, I already wrote that. Will not make the year easier. It's supposed to be the loss doesn't make the year easier. Just because you've gone past a year, just because you've gone past 2 years, does not mean it's going to get easier. Easier is all based on you, your grief story, and what you've done with the pain in your heart. People like to tell me that the second year gets easier. But when I tell you that there are people that come here and tell me the second year was worse than the first, I believe it. I believe it because that was my experience. Not everyone has that experience. Sometimes the second year can feel worse. The shock wears off, the numbness wears off, and the reality starts to set in. The reality sets in that this is who you are right now, and this is my life. The numbness starts to fade. The numbness came from the brain. It was a way to help you deal with that grief. The numbness came from the brain. The numbness fades. And then you start to feel the full body experience. Somewhere around the 4th to the 6th month, what I see is this pain go up. I see the pain increase. Somewhere between the 4th to the 6th month. Everybody is different. But that's what I am. I've been doing this next year for 19 years, and that's what I see. It's not regression. You haven't gone back. It's the next layer of truth, the next layer of truth that you, my friend, have to tell about yourself. We tell the truth always in our grief. We tell the truth always in our grief. We tell the truth about ourselves. We tell the truth about our person. And if your grief pain seems like it's getting worse, that is a part that you have to tell. That's a part that you have to tell. Sometimes when the pain returns, it returns stronger than it was before. And this is not a failure. It's because you're ready to face the next layer. There are layers to the grief. You're ready to face that next layer. There are layers to the grieving experience, my friend. And I don't know what those layers are going to be for you. What are you experiencing? What are your layers that we have to go through? What are the things you have to go through? Was she your best friend? Does this have to do with your dad? Does this have to do with him? What are the layers of grief that you, the griever, have to go through? Sometimes you can work through that first layer, and that second layer is even harder. Healing takes depth. You've got to go into the depth. You've got to be able to see it. When the pain returns stronger, it's not because you failed. It's because you're ready to face what is right here on your grief healing journey. That is about you and your person, nobody else. But now you're ready to look at it. And it might have some of the guilt involved. It might have some of the pain involved. When you go in to the layers and you absolutely take a look, a lot of us start to, for the first time, really understand what deeper pain really is. So a lot of us, not a lot of us, but I've heard grievers say, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And then 3 months later, they come back and they're like, what? They absolutely don't understand. Mary, can you share his name with us? What was his first name so we can love up on him? Just share his first name, Miss Mary, so we can tap the screen for you and your son. Michael, everyone, can you tap for Mary and for Michael? Let's give them some love today. I have a question for you. How does your grief feel different right now today than it did your first year? How does it feel different right now today than it did your first day? How does it feel different for you? Thank you, Ted. Our heart to yours, Miss Mary. Truly our heart to yours. We have no idea what your heart feels like, but we all know what a broken heart feels like, and it really sucks. One of the things we're doing here is we're building community. To be able to show up for another griever is huge. To be able to show up for Miss Mary and acknowledge Michael is huge. It's huge. We can't fix anything for Miss Mary right now. But you know what we can do? We can say Michael's name. We can let her know we see her. We can let her know that we see her. We see her broken heart. Our heart to yours, meaning my heart is broken with grief. Your heart is broken with grief, and I would never try to fix it. We place our hand over our heart and we offer it to you. I see you. It's huge for the griever. To see another griever and love up on them is huge, not only for them, but also for you. Understanding your grief thoughts and how they shape your suffering is huge. One of the things we teach in processing the pain of grief is what the heck is going on in your brain? What is your brain telling you about grief? There's a lot of times I'll be with the griever and I'm like, yeah, that's a thought. That's a thought. I can't is a complete sentence. Why? Why is a complete sentence? Why you? Why me? Why now? Why? No. I'm not doing it. I'm not going that way. We've got to get into the brain. We've got to understand what the brain is doing. What part is the brain playing on here? What part is the brain playing on here? And that's what we do in the community. We walk through processing the pain of grief, and we look at what our brain is doing, what the brain is doing to our grief. We have to learn the thoughts. Why are your thoughts hurting you? Because they're trying to control the situation. It's trying to keep you away from this deep center. You, my friend, have got to get into the deep center of your brain. You learn why your thoughts are hurting you, how they're challenging you. And I also gently help you move down into your heart while simultaneously creating new thoughts that will help you. New thoughts that will help you move forward. That's inside the community of processing the pain of grief. Click the link, click my picture, and click the link that says click here for hope. The community is $57. It's $57 a month until December 31st. And I guarantee you it will go up to $98. You'll meet with me 2 times a week, 1 hour for lecture. If you do not come to the lecture, it is absolutely okay because it will be recorded. And because you're inside of it, you will be able to see the recording at any time. Every Tuesday, we get together in the community. Her name was Shauna. Everybody, can you tap the screen for Shauna? Okay, this is going to be our last one today. Oh, this is huge. I don't even know what number I'm on, so I'm not going to number it. Friends, every loss is different. Every loss is different. Do you see what I wrote here? Every loss is different. And the loss that happened to you inside of your heart is yours. It belongs to you. You don't have to share it with anyone. If you've lost your child, you understand the loss of your child at 100% based on your relationship with them. Here's you. Here's hubby. Both of you are having a different grieving experience. Here's grandma and grandpa. They are also having a different grieving experience. Here goes brother and sister and brother. They are having a different grieving experience. And we are all grieving Austin. Mom and dad are having a different experience based at 100%. Grandma and grandpa are having a different experience based at 100%. Brother, sister are having a different experience based on 100%. And yet we are all grieving Austin. We are all in the room together. We all understand what a broken heart feels like. We all understand the pain of a broken heart. But not one of us understands what the other person is going through. Not one of us understands what the other person are going through, because there are no grieving experiences that are the same. There never have been, and there never will be. Your love and your relationship determines and shapes your grief. It determines and shapes the pain that you will carry. Comparing our losses, starting to compare our loss with one another is wrong. And it will rob you of the truth. It will rob you of the truth. You have 3 children here. One of them might be crying all the time. Susie might be crying all the time. Bobby can't cry at all. And Mary, you see her drinking a lot of wine now. 3 children, all grieving their brother, all grieving it in a different way. Because each and every one of them loved him. But they loved him in a different way. They had a different relationship with him. Each and every one of them did. I want you, friends, to respect your experience as it is. However it shows up to you, respect it for how it is. Your grief doesn't need validation. It doesn't need to be ranked from 1 to 10. Well, you were just the mailman, so I'm going to grieve you at a 2. Well, grandma, they're one generation removed, so they're going to be at a 3. Well, I'm the mom, so I should be, definitely I'm the 9. But him and dad work together, so he's a 9.5. No, all of it is at 100% based on your relationship with your person. Your grief doesn't need validation, and it doesn't need to be ranked. It just needs to be witnessed. Your grief needs to be witnessed by you. It needs to be witnessed by you and one other living soul. One other living soul. If you can get one other living soul to witness your grief along with you, is huge, my friends. Absolutely huge. Understanding this, that everybody is having a different experience and we are all in the same room is going to give you confidence on your grief. I promise you it's going to give you some confidence. It's going to give you confidence to understand I don't need to know what my husband is feeling in order for me to grieve. And he doesn't need to know what I'm feeling in order for me to grieve. We both just need to respect that each of us is having a grieving experience. This is huge, and this is part of what we learn in processing the pain of grief. We learn that grief is all felt at 100%. We learn that grief sucks, and we learn that we have to lean into the suck. We lean into the suck. We don't resist the suck. And we're working on our grief story. What is my grief story? What is the grief story that is building for me? And we learn to break it apart. Okay, friends, community, a paid membership community. I have that. I want to offer it to you. Click my picture, click the link that says click here for hope. Your story becomes something that you can speak. Your story becomes something that you can speak out loud instead of hiding it with shame, panic, or fear. I want to help you gently turn that. You can stop reliving the trauma over and over again every time you talk about it. I want to help you move that, shift the grief so you can stand upright. And then see what's your next move going to be? What's the next thing you're going to be? Absolutely. All right, friends. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for sitting here. I'm not getting off of TikTok, but I will be getting off of YouTube. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that allow me to be on your grief healing journey. I know we didn't go through the 10, but I'm going to add them into the recording. So when you get the recording, it will definitely be in there. All right, YouTube. Thank you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here.